Williamson with BeachsideQiGong.com. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking quite a bit about resonant breathing, which is a breathwork technique used in Qigong and other applications. And I'm also going to be spending 5 minutes at the end of the video to actually do the technique with you and help guide you through it. But first, let's talk a little bit about it, because resonant breathing is a very powerful and healthy breathing technique that can fortify your mind, help to calm it so that it's nice and even, give you clarity, and also make your body feel a little more in sync. So to make sure I give you the best possible information, I'm going to read right off of my handout that I have about resonant breathing that I did up for my breathwork class. Resonant breathing is like a stress reset button to the mind-body. Our world is in overdrive. We're overly active, overly plugged in, highly caffeinated, and completely overstressed on virtually all levels. Resonant breathing is a simple technique with numerous powerful balance-inducing effects. By breathing at resonance, an even balance between the sympathetic, active, and parasympathetic, restful nervous system is established. Hundreds of studies on resonant breathing have shown a wide variety of health benefits, including lower blood pressure, increased pulmonary function, decreased anxiety and depression, better emotional balance, improved heart rate variability, better ability to handle stress, increased resiliency, improvements to asthma, toning the vagus nerve. Wow, that's huge, to tone the vagus nerve with breath work. Studies by the Chopra Center in California have shown that resonant breathing has, for about 5 minutes or more, is what tones the vagus nerve the best. And since the vagus nerve is the largest of the 12 cranial nerves, this has major health benefits throughout the entire mind-body, which include reducing overall heart rate, reducing overall inflammation. It helps to control epilepsy, promotes better digestion and elimination, improves organ function, gives us a calmer, clearer mind, and eliminates leaky gut by restoring the microbiome. Wow, just from breathing. So I'm talking about this in terms of Qigong because resonant breathing has been used in Qigong for centuries under the name of the microcosmic orbit meditation. I'm going to do a whole different video on that specifically. This one is just about resonant breathing. Microcosmic orbit involves a visualization technique, so we'll do that in a totally different video. So what is resonant breathing? It uses a breath pattern where the exhale is slightly longer than the inhale. Ideally, this is a full belly style of breathing where the belly expands a little on inhale and then comes back to the spine slightly on exhale. Most experts recommend starting resonant breathing with a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale, which is how we're going to be doing it in our practice. The ratio can be adjusted to accommodate a longer breath as well, like a 5-second inhale and a 7-second exhale. The most benefit is achieved by using a full belly breath style of breathing. Belly breathing in itself has numerous health benefits, which include better digestion and elimination, and then add that with the rhythmic power of resonant breathing, and it's a recipe for success. So there's an app that's free out there that can really help to keep the resonant breathing going in a good cycle. Now, I mentioned the Chopra Institute in California. That's Deepak Chopra's Research and Health Institute. They actually developed an app that's free to help with resonant breathing. It's called the Breathing App, which is pretty simple. And in the App Store, that is the icon to find it. It's just a little ball. So I'm going to actually be using the app to help guide us through 5 minutes of resonant breath work together. The app is pretty interesting because it has visual cues like this ball that gets big and small, which adds a visual meditation along with it. Or you can do it without the ball and just have a starry night and just hear the sound. Primarily, we're going to be using it for the sound, but I'll show you the ball in the beginning so that you understand what it does. When we do any kind of breath work, it's important that we have good posture. It's good to practice this at first seated if you're not used to doing it, because this full rhythmic cycle of breathing, it might get you a little dizzy at first, but then it quickly dissipates. But if you're standing up, that can be an issue. I've done resonant breathing standing a lot with no issues, but I recommend sitting at first. And if you're going to sit down and practice breath work, you need to have good posture when sitting, which is a little more challenging. So how do we do that? Here you can see I'm not even leaning against the back of my chair. That makes a big difference, because if your muscles are holding you up, then you're more likely to have good posture. We want our feet flat on the ground, our knees at a comfortable angle, so that our feet are in line with our hips still, just like if we were standing, we would want our feet under our hips. This posture helps to open up our lungs. When the arms are in front like this, it tends to collapse your lungs, and you can kind of see that in my posture. But if my hands are like this, sitting on my lap, nice and open, then my lungs are more open, my posture's good, so that I get the most out of my breath work. So how we're going to do, once we find a comfortable seated position, is I'm going to start this app and you'll hear the tone. It makes a tone to breathe in that's a little shorter than the tone to breathe out. And I'll show you the ball just so you can see it. And it's only going to be for 5 minutes. The research indicates that 5 minutes plus of continuous resonant breathing is where we get the most benefits. So let's go ahead and start. So to start, down here you see at the bottom, at this app, you can actually adjust a timer for how long it goes. You can adjust the breath work pattern so that it can be longer or shorter for you, but I'm going to stick with this 4-6 that's recommended by the experts in the beginning. And if you find that that's a little too short for you, you can adjust for yourself as needed. But remember, this is not going to stop for 5 minutes. So don't breathe so slow that you find yourself gasping for air. That's why we start with the 4-6. It's a nice, even rhythm to start with. So have good posture, and then I'm going to hit the button and we'll begin. So first, just listen. So the ball gets big, that's the inhale, and then the ball gets small, that's the exhale. Let me turn it up so I can make sure you can hear it clearly as possible. So you can hear the tone, and when it's right for you, join in on the inhale, which is now. And then breathing out. We want to breathe in through the nose, with the belly relaxed and expanding. Breathe out through the nose with the belly coming back to the spine a little. Once you've gotten your breath synced up with the tone, just go for it. And if you want to shut your eyes and be in that meditative space, if you don't want to look at the ball, that's fine. But for those of you who want to look at the ball, I'm going to hold it here for you. And I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes as we breathe together in resonance. getting a little lightheaded, know that that will subside. It's really just your brain adjusting to a higher level of oxygen. And this full continuous breathing pattern. We don't stop the breath. We just keep breathing in and out with no pause. It's only 5 minutes. The timer is on. And there it is. The app just stops the sound once you've reached the time limit that you've set. Keep breathing for just a few moments in that resonant pattern without the aid of the app tones. It's that continuous in and out with no pause that can make an enormous difference. Normally in our everyday life, we'll have a tendency to pause our breath, to hold it a little, and this sets up the tone for stress and instability in the balance between our autonomic and parasympathetic nervous systems. One of the ways I use this app is I'll turn it on, I'll set the timer, I'll put in earplugs, and I'll go for a walk in a beautiful natural place, aware of my posture, and I'll focus on my posture and my breathing while I walk. And this is a very potent balancing exercise. I hope it's been useful for you, and I am going to make another video that incorporates the visualization of the microcosmic orbit meditation, which is a classic QiGong meditation using resonant breathing. Thanks for joining me. I hope it served you well. Breathe deeply and live long.